Chapter 10, Exit Stage Left. Coyote, something seems odd, Apollo says. Apollo and Coyote walk down one of San Francisco's steep hills. What is that? Coyote asks. Well, it seems you're the only one on Earth who knows who I am. Why is that? Coyote stammers. Well, that's actually hard to explain. You might think of me as a spiritual advisor, or perhaps a celestial tour guide. Tour guide? You know, showing you around, teaching you the ropes, making you feel comfortable, Coyote responds. Still, Apollo says, my feeling is that you were waiting for me. Waiting for you? Nothing could be further from the truth. These college students often have parties. They need someone of age to buy their alcohol, and I am paid handsomely for it. I see. Coyote is now walking at a slightly quicker pace than Apollo, who is lagging a bit behind. Let's have some fun together. I know this place where we can have us a time. The girls dance naked, gyrating their hips. They swing from poles, they grind in your lap. It's a great habit for two friends out on the town. What do you say, Apollo? You want a naked girl rubbing against your thigh? Apollo is silent. Look, we can always go somewhere else. We have time to kill. Like the old song claims, I got the money, you got the time. Apollo is still silent. Or perhaps we could go somewhere quiet. You can ask any question you like, and I'll be forthright in my answers. Apollo is still silent. Coyote asks, Apollo, are you even there? And no, Apollo isn't. Coyote backtracks around a corner, just in time to see Apollo ducking into a music hall. Damn it! Apollo's Music Room is San Francisco's answer to Los Angeles' Whiskey A Go-Go and the Viper Room. In the past, it featured such acts as the Talking Heads, David Bowie, and countless others. Tonight, the stage is inhabited by 9 Times Blue. Apollo's Music Room is a brick building that was once painted white, although only the bulk of the lead-based paint peeled off years ago. It sits in a shady area of town, near the Tenderloin District. A blight, to be sure. However, it certainly fits in with the neighborhood. The interior leaves much to be desired as well. The wood floors seemed as if they could cave in at any time. This was a music hall where people would crowd the stage, hence, seating is limited. The bar stays overcrowded, several people deep in each line. It was exactly the kind of venue you'd least expect a band to play at, but apparently, that's why they love to play there. To Apollo, however, this is paradise. He watches the opening band finish its last song and feels the music welling up inside him. The electric guitar in particular is of interest to him. He watches the lead guitarist play this foreign lute, paying particular attention to his fingers on the chords and the string. He could do that. Of this, Apollo is certain. The band finishes its set and leaves the stage, the curtains closing behind them. The roadies would be out soon enough to gather the instruments, so they are left behind. The musicians now have important jobs to fulfill. Finding drinks and drugs and someone innocent to share them with. The crowd disperses after the band leaves the stage. It's time to hit the head or to go get another drink. An opening appears in this jam-packed room, and Apollo intends to take full advantage of it. He makes his way to the stage. There's a girl, though. She insists on striking up a conversation. Hey, sexy, she says. Do we know each other? If not, we definitely should. I don't believe we've met, Apollo says. He is still distracted by the stage and the plan forming in his mind. Well then, I'm Laurel. Like the tree? Apollo asks. I knew a girl once that was turned into a laurel tree. That's quite a story. How did you manage to do that exactly? Well, it's quite a long story. I don't believe I have time to regale it. Laurel giggles. You still haven't told me your name. Apollo, god of music and light. A god, you say? Someone has a very high opinion of himself. Apollo does his best to gracefully exit the conversation. Yes. If you'll excuse me, there's something I must do. Of course, darling, Laurel answers, although her disappointment is evident. Don't go and forget about me, though. I'd like to continue our chat. I've never met a god before. Coyote strides with an intense pace. Not quite a jog, more like a walking sprint to Apollo's music hall. Unfortunately, a line has formed outside the front entrance. He wheels his way to the front. Hey, little man, Doorman says. Line's in the back. Coyote glances over his shoulder. There are at least 50 people in line. He doesn't have that kind of time. If you look on the VIP list, I believe you'll find my name. Check for a coyote. The doorman shakes his head. All the VIPs done checked in. Back of the line with you. Coyote rips out a crisp $100 bill and displays it to the doorman. Check again, if you would. The doorman's eyes light up. He'd been bribed before, of course, but he had never had a C-note placed into his hand. I'm sorry, sir. Coyote, was it? I see you right here. I apologize for my misunderstanding. No harm, no foul. Coyote passes the bill to the doorman, who sticks it in his shirt pocket. On the way in, Coyote innocently bumps the doorman and retrieves his money via a quick move. Once inside, Coyote begins his search for Apollo. Bastard, he gripes. Should have left him in the damn bedsheet. He'd be a lot easier to find. Coyote's short stature makes it impossible to see through the crowd. Finally, an opening emerges and he spies Apollo near the stage. He makes a beeline towards him, bumping into people as he goes, without stopping to apologize. When he reaches the platform, Apollo is nowhere to be found. Apollo sneaks to the right. No one is watching him as he steps onto the stage. He stands over a Fender Stratocaster, similar to the one he witnessed Jimmy playing all those years ago. Apollo glances over his shoulder to ensure he is alone. He picks up the guitar carefully, almost as if it might bite him. Looking it over, he observes its neck, its strings, and its tuners. He tosses the strap over his shoulder and holds it. Oh, how he holds it. With the guitar firmly in his hand, he gingerly touches the strings. No sound is made, but he can feel the vibrations running through his fingers and throughout his body. This instrument was new, many lifetimes in the making. Apollo knows he can make it sing. He gives the guitar a full strum. Its electricity pumps through his veins. He is ready to try it out for real. Thinking back to the electronics store, he mimics Jimmy's fingers. Soon, Voodoo Child overwhelms the house music. Apollo plays it quicker than Jimmy, but even still, his fingers struggle to keep up with his mind. The musical blast coming from the stage enlivens the crowd. They rush to the front of the stage, not wanting to miss a second of this performance. Apollo is locked in the moment. His eyes are so focused on the strings that he doesn't even realize the curtains have been opened. He stands alone, center stage, mastering this beast of an instrument. His trance is broken when the spotlight shines down on him. For a brief second, he is embarrassed he's on stage in front of a whooping crowd. Quickly, he does what he does best. He entertains. The guitar is screaming, and if Apollo knew the words, he'd be singing them as well. Backstage, the roadies are scrambling. Who is this guy? They ask each other. How did he even get on stage? But the headliners do not care. They dash on stage to join him. The bass player adds the backbeat, the drummer augments with percussion, and the singer provides the lyrics. Their lead guitarist watches in awe. The singer tries to keep up with Apollo, but he's playing voodoo so rapidly it's impossible. Plus, Apollo learned but a fragment of the song while watching Jimmy, so now he's improvising, making music out of thin air. The singer stands back and lets Apollo play, and play he does. Coyote elbows his way front and center. He cannot help but be amused. The god of light beneath the spotlight, truly where he belongs, he mutters to himself. But time was ticking. Coyote would have to get him off that stage. Apollo completes his version of Voodoo Child to a standing ovation. No one in the crowd had ever seen anything like it before, including those compatriots on the stage. Where did you learn to play that way? The lead singer asks. I consider our guitars to be among the best, but that was inspired. What was that bit you did at the end? I'm certain I've never heard it. Apollo shrugs. I just played what felt right. Coyote crawls onto the stage and grabs Apollo. You've had your fun, but now it's time to go. Reluctantly, Apollo agrees to step down. A chorus of boos erupts aimed at Coyote. Coyote ignores them and ushers Apollo from the limelight. They slowly make their way through the audience, having to push to get to the exit. Everyone wants to meet Apollo, to shake his hand, to slap his back, or dole out high fives. One person, however, is more aggressive than the rest. He is roughly 50, with a receding hairline, and looks out of place at such a venue. Jackson Tate blocks Coyote's progress. Jackson is not going to let Apollo leave the building without speaking to him. Realizing this, Coyote relents. That was quite a show you put on up there, young man. My name is Tate. Jackson Tate. I'm a talent scout. Own my own agency. I think you'd fit right in. Fit in with what? Apollo asks. Why, with my stable of musicians. I keep them all working, but naturally, I keep an open eye for fresh talent. And let me tell you, son, you got it. Apollo's confused. What do you mean by working? It's simple, really. I get you gigs. I think I can get you a lot of them. Local, regional, national. Let me tell you, for you, son, the sky's the limit. What's a gig? Now Jackson realizes he's dealing with an amateur and can up his percentage. All the better for him. It's like this. You play music to adoring fans, and I give you money. Minus my 20%, of course. Apollo's eyes beam wide. You mean I could do this more often? He turns to Coyote. That's good, right? Coyote shrugs. Yes, that would be good. But we really have to be going. Jackson looks at Coyote. You're his manager, I take it. How did you manage to get him on this bill? Coyote is really mad with Apollo. Arrange? I arranged nothing. He's just an idiot who hopped on stage. That idiot, as you call him, sure can play an axe. Jackson reaches into his back pocket and retrieves his wallet. He looks to Apollo and hands him a business card. You look me up if you want representation. It'll be worth your while, I can promise you that. Apollo takes the card and examines it. It reads Chaos Management. Coyote is flustered. Apollo, he says, we really have to get going. Jackson latches onto Apollo's name. Apollo? I don't like it. I love it. Wasn't he some sort of god or something? The god of music and light, Apollo answers, again peeved that he hasn't been recognized. Well, all I can say is, you've chosen your stage name wisely. You truly are a god of music, a virtuoso. Thank you for your time, Coyote interjects, but time is of the essence. We've got someplace we must be. Understood, Jackson says. Apollo, you keep that card. Here, take 2. Put them somewhere you won't lose it. Call me tomorrow and I'll take you to lunch. You can leave your buzzkill friend at home. Apollo sticks the card in his jeans pocket as Coyote struggles to get him out the door.